What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here for Survivor Series 2019, right here on Off The Script. This is your official review and results for tonight's show. And I'm going to be completely honest with you right out of the gate. I expected tonight's show to be a lot worse than what we got on the WWE Network. After 4 weeks of lazy, formulaic, bland, stale, uninspired, uncreative Survivor Series hype and build that resulted in the same rinse and repeat ending on every single show across 4 weeks of television. Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and NXT, and you guys know what I mean. The same old chaotic ending where everybody's brawling with everybody. Which brand is going to invade on Monday or Friday or Wednesday. So much so that NXT resulted in a Raw and SmackDown Super Show on Wednesday night. Not my cup of coffee, bro. It's not my cup of coffee. After 4 weeks of the same thing over and over again, Survivor Series actually resulted in a very good pay-per-view by the end of the show. Survivor Series was a very good pay-per-view by the end of the night. Why was NXT involved? Why was NXT involved? If you guys have a brain, you know why NXT was involved. Why did NXT win the Survivor Series? If you guys have a brain, it's the same answer to the first question that I just asked you. Why were they involved in the Survivor Series? Why did they win Survivor Series? Folks, it's called the, what is it? The AEW effect. Oh, man. Trying to get over this cold, man. I'm not completely over the cold yet. What was that? Oh, the AEW effect. That's right. That's exactly why NXT was involved. That's exactly why NXT won the Survivor Series. If you don't think so, you might have to go back to school. Seriously. That's why you're watching me, so I could educate you. Still resulted in a very good show. Was it better than TakeOver WarGames? Absolutely not. Not even in the same atmosphere was Survivor Series. Did it have its ups and downs? Absolutely. Had more ups than downs, but the ups were good. The downs were very bad. We're going to go over all that stuff here on the podcast. I thought that the men's ending to their Survivor Series elimination match was fucking fantastic. I thought it was great. I am so happy to see Keith Lee after a year and a half of literally doing nothing in NXT. So glad to see him in that position with Roman Reigns. And we're going to go over what happened to Keith Lee in the conclusion of that match with Roman Reigns. Everybody complaining on social media why he didn't go over Roman Reigns. Did you expect Vince McMahon to put big old Keith Lee over Roman Reigns? Hey, listen, you gotta look at the bright side, man. He went over Seth Rollins. That's all that matters to me. And Rollins got booed out of the building. That's all that matters to me. But the conclusion of that men's match was awesome. The women's conclusion to their elimination match was awesome. Both elimination matches suffered from the same thing. It was rushed, it was uninspired, too many rapid-fire eliminations, and it just looked like a big clusterfuck at the end of it all. I would hope that WWE takes some opinions from the fan base on social media and opinions from various podcasts that I'm sure are going to be uttering the same thing. I hope next year that these matches are a little bit more confined and not 15 men. Let's go back to 5-on-5. Let's do what I brought to the table next year. Have Raw and SmackDown team up against NXT. What is the point of Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT when there's nothing on the line? The men's match and the women's match, both elimination matches, suffered from the same thing. Too many rapid-fire eliminations. Neither match had any personality. And where you would look towards the Survivor Series for someone to have a big night where Matt Riddle goes on a spree and has major eliminations, or Keith Lee goes on a spree and has major eliminations, or someone like Damian Priest goes in there and has a major elimination and looks good standing next to a Randy Orton or standing next to a Drew McIntyre or a Seth Rollins. None of that happened. None of that happened. WWE had to pick and choose who they wanted in those big spotlight roles, and not everybody was able to share in the spotlight of the main roster being on the Survivor Series. Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt delivered a match that I thought was perfect for what they have showed us, the very little that they showed us on TV. Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt had a better match than Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins match 1 and 2 combined. Tonight's match with Bryan was better than both Seth Rollins matches with The Fiend, and the red lighting is still there. We'll go over that. I'm still not a big fan of the red light. I'm gonna have to get used to the red lights. I'm gonna have to. It's not going away. Everybody says the same thing on social media, and it's still here. I guess if we see the red light once a month with Bray Wyatt, it's not that bad, but I don't want to watch a Daniel Bryan match under red light. I want to watch Daniel Bryan in natural lighting because he's one of the best wrestlers on the face of the earth. So they brought together a great match that I thought was perfect for what they have built up in their feud. Brock Lesnar and Rey Mysterio, I thought, for the time that it went and what they did and the story that they've told on TV, they told a brilliant story in that ring tonight. Adding Dominic to that match was fucking beautiful. Now, I'm going to go over everything in detail as to what happened, but adding Dominic to that match brought it to another level. And I don't know who on social media or who in the WWE, universe, or if you're watching WWE weekly television, why you would even think that Rey Mysterio stood a chance to win this match. It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen. They were going to make you believe. They were going to do everything in their power to bring you to the edge of your seat. When Brock Lesnar shows up in this type of match, the motherfucker shows up to work. Brock Lesnar may go down as one of the biggest, best fighters in a main event situation that WWE has ever seen. He may be the best big man, big fight wrestler in all of WWE history. Every single time that he has a match like this with someone like a Rey Mysterio or an AJ Styles or a Seth Rollins or a Daniel Bryan, the match quality is so great. It is so great. Lesnar and Mysterio killed it. It was brilliantly booked tonight. I loved everything about that. And the main event of Survivor Series, I don't know who thought that Shayna Baszler, Becky Lynch, and Bayley was the right main event for this show. I honestly thought that was a piss-poor choice for a main event. I thought the match was boring. I don't know what the match was suffering from. It might have been suffering from how exciting Rey Mysterio and Brock Lesnar was. I don't know. Shayna Baszler might have been suffering. She might have been off a step or two, being that she was in WarGames last night. I don't know. There was something in that match that was missing, and it ended up being utterly boring. I don't know what was missing from that match. I don't know what the match lacked, but there was no energy in that crowd. There was no energy in what the women tried to go out there and do as far as match quality goes. There was no way I would have ever even thought about putting that match on in the main event. Whoever thought and came to that decision, you fucked up. You fucked up. There's no way that match should have main evented. I would have much rather seen Lesnar and Mysterio main event the show, and we go off the air with Brock Lesnar and the match that he had with Rey Mysterio and Dominic. That's just my quick thoughts on that. We're going to go over everything in detail right here on Off The Script. Thank you guys so very much for joining me here on the podcast. If you missed any of my other videos this weekend, please go and check them down below. The flagship podcast, Off The Script, 301 this weekend. We talk about a variety of things, almost 4 hours of content. Make sure you guys go and check that out along with Monday Night Raw and every other video and review for weekly wrestling shows during the week down below. Everything you need is linked in the description. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206 on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys do that. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that has followed me tonight due to the tweeting during Survivor Series on Twitter. Thank you guys for live tweeting with me during the Survivor Series. We'll be back at it during Monday Night Raw, so join me then. Twitter is the best place to keep up to date with what I'm thinking in real time during these shows. It's a great way to keep up to date on the channel. Thank you guys so very much for following me on social media. If you guys want to go and hit that subscribe button, if you enjoy what you hear right on this podcast, I would really appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you want to support the podcast via Patreon, you guys can certainly do that as well. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And the podcast tonight is brought to you by my good friends over at Audible, audibletrial.com/off the script. Tonight, they're giving everybody listening to the Survivor Series review a free audio book and 30 days free of their service. It is very simple. You guys are going to use our unique link, audibletrial.com/off the script. You guys are going to download the app on your iPhone or Android devices. You guys are going to then go through the billing process and you will not be charged a dime. They're going to ask you for your information. They're going to give you 30 days free of their service. They're going to allow you to choose one free audiobook of your choice. And you have over 200,000 choices to choose from, a lot of which are wrestling related if you guys are interested in that, being that we are a wrestling related podcast. Best part is, guys, if you sign up, yeah, you're going to get 30 days. Yeah, you're going to get the free audiobook. If you feel like you just want to support the show by using our link, and you feel like Audible's not for you, you can cancel at any time in that 30 days. On day 1, on day 30, on day 12. It doesn't matter. You guys can cancel anytime in that 30 days and still get to keep your audiobook for free. It's a great way to support Audible. It's a great way to support Off the Script. Once again, guys, that's audibletrial.com/off the script. And now, let's get on into the Survivor Series 2019 official review right here on Off the Script. I got to start out by saying, man, I really got to start out by saying one major plus on the entire night was the simple fact that everybody that was involved in these matches tonight did not wear a Raw or SmackDown or NXT silly-looking circus-like t-shirt so that they could show the audience which brand they are representing. I am so glad they got rid of that. And they went to the more subtle and much more aesthetically pleasing armband. How great was that? Everybody that represented Raw, SmackDown, or NXT had a red armband. Raw had a red armband with the R on it. SmackDown had a blue armband with the SmackDown logo on it, or SD on it. And then NXT had a yellow armband that had NXT written in black on it. How simple. Whoever made that decision, whoever called for that executive decision to be made and instituted on this show tonight, thank you. Thank you. You personally deserve a raise. I appreciate you. Now, with that out of the way, we got the pre-show. It started at 5 o'clock. I had no idea it started at 5 o'clock. I thought it started at 6 o'clock. Did not have any idea we were going to get 3 matches on the pre-show. So I was a half an hour late. Thank God I did not miss any of the action on the pre-show. I would gladly miss Booker T and whoever else is on there, Sam Roberts, whoever the fuck they had on there. I don't give a shit what they say, as long as I did not miss the in-ring action on the pre-show. So we started with the Battle Royal. We had a Battle Royal announced. I don't know when it was announced, maybe earlier in the day, maybe on the pre-show, I don't know. It was a tag team Battle Royal with a variety of tag teams from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT that were not going to be featured in the Survivor Series. We had Vic Joseph, Nigel McGuinness, and the asshole, Corey Graves, on commentary. Why did I emphasize asshole when talking about Corey Graves? We'll talk about it when we get to the Adam Cole and Pete Dunne match, because Mauro Ranallo was supposed to be on commentary for that match, but was not. He wasn't even in the building, thanks to the asshole, Corey Graves. So we had a tag team battle royal. The teams involved were Imperium. I love them. Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner, 2 beasts. The Lucha House Party, a.k.a. the Lucha Clown Party. The Street Profits, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. They took time out of their day collecting toys to show up for the Survivor Series. Heavy Machinery, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, Breezango, the Forgotten Sons, and the worst tag team in the world, the OC. Yes, I know they're the best tag team in the world, but you think that if they were the best tag team in the world, they would have simply won this tag team battle royal, correct? The winner obviously receives nothing, and the fact that the rules to this match are still the way that they are is fucking ridiculous. WWE, I want you to listen to me, and I want you to listen to me real good, okay? I'm not some fucking idiot who sits in his basement and cries about wrestling all day, but when I watch wrestling, I want things to make sense. How does this match make sense? Seriously, put yourself in one of these guys' shoes. For example, the rule is, if one member of a team is eliminated, then both members of the team are eliminated. So, if I am Otis of Heavy Machinery, who got eliminated tonight, how do you think I feel? That I gotta, get eliminated, and my boy Tucker Knight is also eliminated. How do you think Tucker Knight feels? In the ring, watching his partner get eliminated. Oh, look, I'm still in the ring, but I gotta leave anyway. I didn't get thrown over the top rope, but I gotta leave the fucking match anyway. How ridiculous does that look to someone watching from the outside looking in? How does that look to the audience? Now, I don't want to harp on this too long because this match ultimately meant nothing by the end of the night. But God, these rules are so fucking lame. They are so lame. The winner obviously receives nothing. Maybe the winner got a specially crusted graham cracker crust pumpkin cheesecake for Thanksgiving by Titus Catering, by Titus Bakery. I don't know. Other than that, the winner received nothing. NXT has what I think is the best tag team division, or at least could be looked at in previous months as having the best tag team division in all of the WWE. And all of the NXT teams were eliminated within 5 minutes of this circus battle royal. So by this point in the show, I'm like, well, this doesn't bode well for NXT. The OC is labeled as the best tag team in the world, and they were eliminated in this match. So I guess that they're not the best tag team in the world. I don't get it. Why are you hyping them up to the best tag team in the world when they can't win a simple battle royal? They just went through a fucking gauntlet match in Saudi Arabia to win the best in the world tag team trophy, but they can't win this match? Oh, that's right. They only got the trophy and the label, the comical label of the best tag team in the world, because they signed new 5-year deals, and WWE has to show them that they're at least putting a little bit of effort into making them seem relevant on Monday Night Raw. Best tag team in the world? Please, don't make me laugh. They're not even the best tag team on their fucking brand, let alone the WWE. That goes to the Undisputed Era. So, we got those guys being eliminated. The Street Profits versus Rude and Ziggler are the last two teams in this battle royal. So, it's Raw versus SmackDown. Like I said, the NXT teams were eliminated within the first 5 minutes of this match. So, we go from both of these teams to Montez Ford hitting a beautiful frog splash on Dolph Ziggler. Rude, who was on the outside, he got thrown through the ropes by Angelo Dawkins. He snuck back in. He threw Ford over the top rope after the frog splash, and Ziggler and Rude win this worthless battle royal on the pre-show. What do they get? I don't know. Maybe Bobby Roode gets front row tickets to Dolph Ziggler's next comedy show. I don't fucking know. Who cares? The match was meaningless on the pre-show. Kalisto versus Akira Tozawa versus Lio Rush. Don't really know how this match came about, and to be quite honest, I don't really give a shit. Don't know why this match came about. If anything, this should have been Lio Rush defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Angel Garza. I made mention that I wanted that match on TakeOver. They didn't do that, but we get Lio Rush on the Survivor Series defending his title against two bums at this show, Kalisto and Akira Tozawa. Tozawa is on Raw. He's wrestled one match on Raw since the draft, and I don't watch 205 Live, so I don't know if he's done anything on 205 Live to even earn a shot at the Cruiserweight Championship, because I know Lio Rush is feuding with Angel Garza. Kalisto is on SmackDown. Again, I don't know if he's still wrestling on 205 Live. I don't know if he's done anything on 205 Live to get a title shot, so I am automatically not invested in this. I only care about Lio Rush. I only care about Angel Garza and the story that's going on with those two guys, because I'm invested on what's happened with NXT on Wednesday. Had a great match between those two guys. Tozawa ends up hitting a big senton on Rush for a 2 count. Tozawa couldn't believe that Lio Rush kicked out of his finishing move. Kalisto and Tozawa go from, arguing with one another to going blow for blow with one another, trading strikes. Tozawa goes for a German suplex, but Kalisto blocks it, reverses it into a Salida del Sol. Rush runs in, hits the final hour, split-legged frog splash on Kalisto for the pin to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. So we got Raw winning the opening match, NXT winning the second match with Lio Rush winning his match and retaining the Cruiserweight Championship. The New Day versus the Undisputed Era. Not era, era. And the Viking Raiders. Triple threat match. Tag team champions galore here. Don't know why this match was on the pre-show. Really don't. I don't understand it. And it just goes to show you that WWE has no value for tag team wrestling. The simple fact that the Undisputed Era and the Viking Raiders and the New Day are all on the pre-show. I get it. I get that you can't put everything on the main show, but this was the one match that I honestly think deserved to be on the main show. Honestly. I don't know why tag team wrestling's got to get the shaft. I really wish things would change in the WWE. I'm not holding my fucking breath. New Day's out first. Crowd is largely filled at this point because during the first two matches, there were a variety of empty seats because, the pre-show is part of the Survivor Series, right? Sure thing. Crowd largely filled in at this point, unlike the first two matches. Undisputed Era came out. Major props and respect for them even being here after what they did in WarGames last night. If you guys want to go check my review, live on the channel, link will be down below in the description of this very video. Viking Raiders came out in Viking helmets and armor. They looked fucking awesome. Undisputed and the Viking Raiders. I mentioned this once before, twice before, 3 times before. Every time I talk about tag team wrestling, had one of the best tag team matches in all of wrestling this year. It will definitely be in my top 10 for matches of the year in WWE. One of the best tag team matches in all of wrestling this year at TakeOver Phoenix during Royal Rumble weekend this year. So I was looking forward to this match just based on the fact that both of these teams were in this match. Now, let's fast forward to the ending because that's where all the good stuff was happening and that's where everything broke down and the match went from okay to really fucking good. Ivar finally tags in and unloads on the Undisputed Era. Ivar striking big on everybody on the Undisputed Era side. You got Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. They were moving very sluggish, and rightfully so after WarGames. So Ivar goes up top looking for what I think is a big splash. He sees Bobby Fish move, and then he rolls through off the top rope to Ivar. Eric tags in, double knees to Fish. Ivar misses a cannonball in the corner. Fish makes the save. Big E tags in, launches O'Reilly, then Fish with big suplexes, overhead suplexes. Kofi with some big kicks from the apron to everybody who was on the floor outside. Eric mounts Big E in the corner with some punches, old school style. Kofi Kingston makes the save with a kick. The New Day hits a big double team stomp off the top rope. We had, I don't know who it was on. I believe it was on Eric. It was on Eric. He was on Big E's shoulders and Kofi came off the top rope and a double stomp. It looked fucking beautiful. Ivar breaks up the pin just in time to save the match for the Viking Raiders. Big E ends up hitting a spear on Eric to the floor from the apron to everybody else outside. Crowd gave this a standing ovation. Big E is a lunatic. I still don't know how he has not injured himself on that dive. Every time he does it, I fear for his well-being. Eric rocks Big E with a huge knee to the face. Ivar tags back in, and he goes for the springboard German suplex clothesline combination with Eric to Big E. He hits that, connects that successfully. Kofi Kingston's on the outside. He goes for Trouble in Paradise on the floor, but he accidentally kicks the ring post instead. Undisputed Era then double teams Kofi with a high-low on the floor, taking him out of the match completely. Viking Raiders and the Undisputed Era see the New Day down, and now we got both teams going at it, and they start to unload on each other in the ring. This is what I came for. This is what I wanted to see. Ivar gets double teamed, but he screams back at the Undisputed Era to bring it. Big man Ivar cartwheels out of the way. He evades a high-low from Undisputed. Viking Raiders go on and hit a Viking experience, or AKA what Morrow calls Thor's Hammer. Sounds a lot cooler. Kyle O'Reilly onto Bobby Fish. They go for the cover, and they win. I guess that makes the Viking Raiders the best tag team in the world, correct? Because they beat the New Day, And they beat the Undisputed Era, and you can't get any better than that. Think the OC needs to give up their rights to the best tag team trophy. Give me a break. So this match was awesome. Really enjoyed this match. All three teams look great. This is what I came for. Don't know why I was on the pre-show, and I wish someone in WWE would actually give a shit about tag team wrestling. So the actual Survivor Series show starts. We got the Women's Survivor Series 5-on-5. On 5. I wish it was a 5-on-5. It's 5-on-5-on-5, which equals 15, cretins. Yeah, I know how to add. Commentary teams switched for all these matches. This particular match had Michael Cole, Beth Phoenix, and Jerry the King Lawler. SmackDown came out first. This was Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke, which I don't even know why she was there. Honestly. Out of all the women on this Raw, I would have taken an injured Ruby Riott over Dana Brooke. I would have taken fucking anybody over Dana Brooke. I would have taken the Fat Slob in row 18 at the AllState Arena over Dana Brooke. I would have taken a paper plate and Titus Catering over Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke in this match. Why? I don't know. Now, some of you might be fans of Dana Brooke, but I don't know how you're fans after tonight of Dana Brooke. She looked like a complete dummy. Lacey Evans, Nikki Cross, Carmella. Next, Raw came out. Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Sarah Logan. I know. I'm just as shocked as you guys that she's still employed with the WWE. Who? Oh, Sarah Logan, the Viking, who was a country girl that turned Viking. Yeah, that completely makes sense. And then the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Little Miss Kairi Sane, who has developed a love for backwards baseball hats all of a sudden. NXT came out last. Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm. Toni Storm, Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae, and Io Shirai. I got a little lost for a second. I'm sorry. All three of these teams came out to the brand's official theme music that they were associated with, so nobody came out to their individual themes. So you had Victorious for Monday Night Raw, you had AC/DC for SmackDown, and then you had Slipknot for NXT, which is always a good thing to see. Chicago was clearly pro NXT here, and they were all night, to be quite fair to you guys. Match started with Sarah Logan, Lacey Evans, and Toni Storm. That didn't last long. Kairi and Io tagged in along with Carmella, and this is why Dana Brooke should have clearly stayed in catering. She might have thought she was still in catering at this point. Now, both started to look at each other, and they figured, you know what, we're ex-best friends. Let's team up on Carmella. So Carmella was smart. She didn't want any of this, so she tagged out to Dana Brooke of all fucking people. And Dana Brooke literally stood in the corner and watched both Io and Kairi Sane go and work wrestling moves on one another. She literally watched both of these women wrestle each other in the middle of the ring as she stood in the corner. Now, I know some of you might be fans of Dana Brooke. I don't know why. You know, you guys are a special bunch of individuals, let me tell you. But all I seen from Dana Brooke tonight was, you know what? I can't compete with this, and I'm not even going to get in there and try because I'm going to embarrass myself. So I'll just stand here and watch two women who actually know how to wrestle, and maybe I'll learn a thing or three. Maybe she thought she was in Titus Catering. I don't know. She stood around as if she was waiting for Zack Ryder to finish his fucking green beans and leave the paper plate and the paper forks and all this shit, right? The plastic forks. She's waiting to clean up and just make sure everything is neat for the next crew that comes on in and catering. That's what she looked like. Just stood around. I don't know what she was doing. She looked completely out of place. A fish out of water was Dana Brooke. Now, she's seen her spot to finally get in on this thing. She goes to the top rope and delivers a senton off the top on Kairi for a 2 count. Literally at this point, every woman in this match did either a signature move, a big power move, or a finishing move. They came on in. Sheer chaos here. Sasha was the last one who stood tall. She backstabbed Nikki Cross with a backstabber. And Io Shirai, I think it was Nikki Cross, right? I don't even remember. It was just so much going on. I think it was Nikki Cross because they were arguing, I think. Io Shirai and Candice LeRae were on the outside, and they were carried to the back in one of the most ridiculous Survivor Series spots in recent memory. Now, during all of this chaos, Charlotte Flair had speared Io Shirai. And then Candice LeRae, fucking little engine that could, tough as fucking nails, Candice LeRae, she ate a weak super kick from Carmella. Both women are on the outside. They're both being attended to as if they were both attacked by fucking Brock Lesnar. And then they get carried away and they are out of the match in this opening round match for the Survivor Series. How ridiculous is that? Who thought this would have been a good spot to add to this match, to add intrigue to this match? You know how ridiculous it is to watch Io Shirai and Candice LeRae, two women who went to fucking war in WarGames the night before, show up at the Survivor Series, and then you ask them, oh, listen, you're going to be taken out of 95% of this match because Charlotte's going to spear Io and Carmella is going to super kick Candice LeRae. I would have looked at you as if you were the biggest fucking idiot on planet Earth. I would have looked at you like you had 7 eyeballs. Absolutely ridiculous. I have no words. After what those two women did in WarGames the night before, this is how you take them out? It's as if WWE main roster management didn't even watch WarGames. So they got taken out. So NXT was down to 3. Nikki Cross was pinned by Bianca Belair after a leverage pin with her feet on the ropes. Bianca Belair then eliminated Sarah Logan. Who? Oh, the country girl who turned Viking. Okay, yes, Sarah Logan. There you go. Beautiful 450 splash. Goodbye, Sarah Logan. Back to catering you go. Now we're down to 4 for Raw, 4 for SmackDown, and 3 for NXT. Charlotte and Bianca. This is what I came for. Had a nice little back and forth. This is going to be a main roster program sooner rather than later, hopefully with Bianca coming out on top, because Bianca is the much more superior athlete here. Back and forth between them. Charlotte went for her moonsault, and Carmella said, you know what? Guys, I'm going to save you from this horrendous nightmare. Don't worry about it. She stopped Charlotte Flair's moonsault. Thank God. Carmella delivered a very nice hurricanrana on Charlotte off the top, right on top of Bianca Belair for a near fall on both. She covered one, didn't get it. Covered the other, didn't get it. Charlotte eventually pinned Carmella with a natural selection. So it's now down to 4 for Raw, 3 for SmackDown, and 3 for NXT. Kairi, Toni, and Sasha. Again, this is what I came for. Please take my money. Sasha Banks and Toni Storm, I'm all in, bro. I'm all in. This didn't last long. Tear. Kairi Sane hit the insane elbow on Toni Storm. Went for the cover. Sasha then delivered a Meteora on Kairi Sane. Now, Kairi went for the pin after the insane elbow on Toni Storm. But Sasha broke it up. I did not understand the logic behind that one. I need someone to fill me in on that. The only thing I could surmise was that Sasha wanted to assure that she had the elimination for herself. That's the only thing I came up with. Other than that, I don't know why she would have broke up what was going to be an easy win for Kairi Sane over Toni Storm. Dana Brooke came in, and she was very hungry at this point, and she said, you know what? Titus is baking some sort of pie. I need to get backstage very quickly. Dana Brooke came in, and Asuka kicked her head off. Back to catering you go. There you go. She's gone. 3 for Raw, 2 for SmackDown, 3 for Raw, 2 for SmackDown, and 3 for NXT at this point. Asuka and Charlotte started arguing and fighting with each other. I don't know why. I don't know why you would want to argue with Asuka. Whatever the case may be, Charlotte in, Lacey Evans chopping each other over and over. Charlotte chopped Lacey Evans, I should say, over and over again. Yeah, it's real womanly for Charlotte to do. Asuka walks over out of nowhere and green mists Charlotte Flair right in the face, which actually received a standing ovation. Of course it would. Everybody loves Asuka. Asuka walked away and eliminated herself. She said, fuck Team Raw. I don't want anything to do with Team Raw. Lacey Evans with the woman's right pins Charlotte Flair. Charlotte's eliminated. Raw only has Natalya Neidhart left on their side. Lacey Evans was pinned with a roll-up by Natalya very quickly. And NXT has 3 women left. SmackDown only has Sasha, and Raw only has Natalya at this point. Natalya applied a sharpshooter on Toni Storm. At the same time, while this was being applied, Sasha Banks applied the bank statement, and poor little Toni Storm is eliminated. She lasted longer than I expected her to, so good on that. Bianca Belair was eliminated by a double-team heart attack by Natalya and Sasha. We are left with Sasha, Natalya, and Rhea Ripley. Of course we are. Rhea Ripley has had a great 3 weeks. You can physically see the rocket pack strapped to Rhea Ripley. Sasha and Natty are now standing together as if it's Raw and SmackDown versus NXT. Sasha, of course, said, "Fuck you, Natty," and she turned on Natty with her right hand and pinned her, eliminated her 1, 2, 3. We're now down to Sasha and Rhea Ripley. Spoke about this the last 2 weeks with Rhea and Sasha being in the ring. In this type of environment, this is the type of shit that we need to see in the women's division. And I'm glad to see that somebody in WWE is maybe listening to me, because I harped on this for the last 2 weeks. And this is exactly what the women's division needs. Sasha Banks and Rhea Ripley. I'm all for it. Sasha Banks versus any of the NXT women. Take my money. This was awesome. So we got Rhea Ripley. She got her reverse. I don't know what it's called. Someone please find out what the name of this move is. I'm very curious to know. I don't know if it has a name, but I'm just going to call it the reverse sharpshooter. Whatever she does, a reverse sharpshooter submission on Sasha. Sasha rolled through in mid-move and turned it into a bank statement. Awesome. Rhea was reaching for the ropes, and Sasha, I love when she does this. She switches directions, she switches positions, and she kept Rhea Ripley from reaching the ropes. I love it. Out comes Candice LeRae and Io Shirai. They're miraculously cured. Oh my God, I guess the spear and the super kick were not good enough. Sasha fighting off all 3 women now, 2 of which have not been properly eliminated. Sasha looked like she was going to beat Rhea. Candice distracted the referee on one side, but on the other side, Io springboarded in with a missile dropkick on Sasha. Rhea Ripley with the riptide and a very fierce and intense cover for the win. And NXT opens Survivor Series with their women winning the elimination match. Right outcome, and Rhea Ripley is having a fucking career month in the month of November. You physically see the rocket pack strapped to Rhea Ripley. I want to make a comment on what my buddy John Draper of the Wrestling Soup, if you guys know the Wrestling Soup guys, John Draper tweeted something that he's seen on my timeline. He quote tweeted me. He mentioned Becky Lynch being a little boring and stale as of late. And Rhea Ripley, he mentioned, is what Becky Lynch should be. That she is exactly how Becky Lynch should be booked. And I agree with that statement 1,000%. Becky Lynch just comes on. I love Becky. I love Becky's attitude. I love, what they did with Becky leading up to WrestleMania. She deserved it. Absolutely deserved it. Has WWE failed Becky in the aftermath of WrestleMania? Absolutely. She's never looked the same. She's not even close to what she was. Rhea Ripley comes off as real. Rhea Ripley comes off as organic. She comes off as natural. Where Becky, she's great at certain things. There's certain aspects to Becky's act that I do enjoy. But man, does it look forced. I do not think that Rebecca Quinn is who she is on TV. I do believe Rhea Ripley is more of what we see on TV in her real life. That's just the way it comes off to me. I bet both women are sweethearts, but, it's one of those things where I honestly think Rhea Ripley is the new Becky Lynch. Really. And she's only 23 years old. She just turned 23 on October 11th. She's going to be an absolute fucking stud in that women's division. How you could possibly even contemplate fucking that up, I don't know. If you do, go find a new profession. NXT wins, right outcome. I love the ending with Rhea and Sasha. More of that, please. Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles versus Roderick Strong. This is champion versus champion versus champion. Got Shinsuke Nakamura with his new and beautiful Intercontinental Championship. AJ Styles needs a new United States title. Pronto, Vince. What's going on with all this Fox money? You can afford a new IC title but not a new US title? And then Roderick Strong, the North American champion in NXT. Nigel McGuinness, who's the best color man in WWE. Graves. Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler are the announced team here. Fast forwarding through this match because it really was not... I wouldn't say it wasn't exciting or it wasn't a good match. There was nothing really, I would say, out there that I need to put in my notes. I was just watching 3 guys who know how to wrestle. So let's fast forward a little bit. Styles came back in this match after being beat down some. He set up a Styles Clash on Nakamura. And Strong broke it up with a running boot to the back of Styles' head. Sammy pulled Nakamura to safety on the outside. Cole and Nigel noted that the no DQ rules are in effect because it's a triple threat match. Thank you so much, Michael Cole. I'm so glad I have your vast knowledge on commentary, as if I didn't know that, clown. So, Strong gave Styles a double underhook powerbomb into a leverage pin for a near fall. Nakamura came back into the ring to try and powerbomb Strong and Styles as they were set up for a superplex. They knocked him down. Styles lifted Strong onto his shoulders and almost fell over. He kind of tipped over, but he didn't. He regained balance. Nakamura leapt off the top rope with a beautiful flying super kick off the top rope. He landed on Strong's knee. Strong went for his knee. I hope he's not hurt, but he sold it as if he was really hurt. Everybody was down, slow to get up. Nakamura covered Strong. Styles broke up the cover. Nakamura waited for Strong to stand on his own feet and signaled for the Kinshasa. Styles pulled his leg. Sammy shoved Styles into the ring post. Strong gave Nakamura a running knee for a 2 count. And then we go from Nakamura giving Strong a go to sleep. And then we get chants of CM Punk during the match. So good on you, Chicago. I'm glad you guys are still pro CM Punk after everybody called him a sellout during his debut on WWE Backstage. Nakamura signaled for the Kinshasa again, but Styles broke it up with a flying forearm. Nakamura kicked Styles. Strong kicked Nakamura. Styles avoided a strong knee. And then he backbreakered, I believe, Strong. Or neckbreaker. Yushi Goroshi, I believe it was. Nakamura gave Styles a backbreaker. Nakamura backdropped Strong onto the face of Styles, which looked brutal. Nakamura then gave Strong a Kinshasa for a near fall. That was broken up by Styles. Styles and Nakamura stood opposite each other and went into back and forth brawling. So the history was played up there of their history dating back to Japan because, fuck the WWE feud that they had. Cole noted that their history dated back to their time in Japan. Nakamura gave Styles a flying knee off the second rope and then a Death Valley driver for a near fall. Styles came back soon after with a phenomenal forearm. Strong entered through Styles out of the ring and made the Weasley cover on Nakamura after the phenomenal forearm. Sammy was late in breaking it up, and Roderick Strong beats AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in what I think, now I'm not taking anything away from Roderick Strong, but this was a shocking outcome to me because I actually thought that AJ Styles was going to win this thing. And I figured, you know what? AJ is a Vince guy. Vince loves AJ. There's no way that Vince is going to allow either Nakamura or Roderick Strong go over AJ Styles. And I think, honestly, AJ Styles is the one guy that needed the win the most because I don't think he's really done anything. He hasn't done anything on Monday Night Raw that's really been memorable or, noteworthy. I figured he was going to win this match. So I was very surprised that WWE gave the win to Roderick Strong here. He walks out beating AJ Styles and Nakamura in what I thought was a very good match. Crowd could have been a little bit more into it, but I honestly think the women's match took somewhat of the crowd out of this triple threat match. Roderick Strong wins. Good on him. Adam Cole, who is the MVP of WWE for 2019. Don't even at me. Nobody's even close. Especially this month. The guy's body of work has been fucking amazing. Adam Cole is WWE's MVP for 2019. Pete Dunne is his challenger here for the NXT Championship. Pete Dunne won a match at WarGames against Damian Priest and big man Killian Dane to get this opportunity. Michael Cole, Beth Phoenix, and Nigel McGuinness are on commentary. Now, Michael Cole said that Mauro Ranallo was supposed to be doing commentary for this match, but he blew his voice out at TakeOver. I knew that was bullshit because when I see Mauro Ranallo in Florida, when I went to go to my one and only NXT taping, I asked Mauro, what do you do to keep your voice in check, right? And that man has all the secrets. There's no way that man blew out his voice. None. He said he has nothing. He has nothing. He just says, I've trained my voice to be the way it is, and I don't blow out my voice. That's what he told me. So, during TakeOver last night, after he blew out his voice, Graves sent out a tweet directed at Mauro Ranallo. He says this, and I quote, "Just for the record, guys, I know you wouldn't know it, but there's actually a WWE Hall of Famer and a former Ring of Honor champion on commentary. I'd imagine they have a lot to offer. End quote. Now, this tweet was making reference to Mauro Ranallo's commentary style with Graves, suggesting that Mauro was overshadowing Beth Phoenix and Nigel McGuinness. Now, I don't know what you guys think. I know that Mauro is not everybody's cup of tea. But you cannot take Mauro's commentary style away from him. He enhances the show so much that he takes a good show to an incredible show. There's a reason why Triple H hired him in the first place, because he is the biggest and best voice in all of combat sports. His voice is recognizable. His voice is epic. His voice is iconic. And he wants that vibe for NXT. If you don't appreciate that, that's on you. But I have every right to tell you that your opinion is shit. Because he's the greatest play-by-play man in the sport today. Now, I don't know why this is an issue now. How many takeovers has Mauro done? How many takeovers has Mauro done? Right? Go back to TakeOver New York when Johnny Gargano beat Adam Cole in what I think is the greatest NXT match in the fucking history of NXT. One of WWE's greatest gems ever. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole at TakeOver New York. Did Mauro Ranallo step on Nigel McGuinness's feet then? Did he step on Beth Phoenix's feet then? I don't know why this is an issue now. Did he step on anybody's toes at TakeOver Phoenix? TakeOver New York? TakeOver Toronto? Did anybody make a mention or complain that Mauro is stepping on anybody's foot then? Why is it an issue now? I don't understand it. When has it ever been an issue? As long as Mauro's been doing commentary. When has it been an issue? WWE even puts clips of Mauro and his commentary on YouTube because everybody loves his commentary. Everybody loves to see his excitement and his love and his passion for what he does. Graves proceeded to add more fuel to this bullshit shitstorm, responding to a fucking parasite on social media. So, of course, Graves won't answer anybody that's fucking cursing at him, but he's gonna reply to somebody who actually agrees with him. Of course. Responding to a fan who asked, how many times did Mauro Ranallo reference Chicago on commentary tonight? Graves responded, far, far too many. Oh, because he mentioned Chicago references. I'm sorry, Graves. I'm sorry that you're not as quick-witted with the references and the innuendos on commentary like Mauro does. I'm sorry you're boring and are a WWE shill and you don't have the type of impact that Mauro Ranallo has. Mauro Ranallo, after seeing this, proceeded to delete his Twitter account following these statements by Graves and decided not to appear on tonight's Survivor Series pay-per-view. Triple H stated during the NXT media call that Ranallo would represent the NXT brand on commentary during the Survivor Series match between Adam Cole and Pete Dunne. This was not the case. Now, Ranallo, as you guys know, has a history of mental health issues, and he's had issues in the past. He even tweeted out before TakeOver, please, depression, anxiety, please, stay away. I just want to live in this moment and enjoy this moment following TakeOver WarGames. Dave Meltzer said this on the Wrestling Observer, and I quote, given Ranallo's well-known mental health issues that have continued recently, as much as announcers are fair game from fans under any circumstances, unfortunately, it's bad form from other announcers, particularly given what happened a few years ago. Now, Ranallo's friend and manager Frank Shamrock responded to Graves' tweet, saying social media has made too many of you uncomfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the mouth for it. Michael Cole mentioned Ranallo's absence from Survivor Series, stating that he blew his voice out at NXT TakeOver WarGames and will be back during NXT on USA this Wednesday night. They just want this to blow over. Corey Graves should absolutely be ashamed of himself. Shame on you, Corey Graves, for stooping to the fucking bottom of the barrel that you did. I don't understand why this is even an issue. Yes, because the main roster commentary is so fucking good, right? It's so much better than what we see in NXT. You sit next to a fucking robot every single week, where his best line is, "Oh, it's boss time. Oh, look, it's the big dog." Give me a fucking break. Stop trying to be Bobby the Brain fucking Heenan, because you're not. And let Mauro Ranallo do his job, which, if you don't know, in this case, he's the best play-by-play man in WWE, or in sports in general. Corey Graves is a complete prick. He's a complete asshole. And you think that this man is going to go out there and feel any type of remorse? Of course not. It's a cutthroat business. He thinks he's the best at what he does. So he finds that his status in the company gives him the power to cut other people down. I don't understand why a colleague of yours needs to go into severe depression because over some stupid shit that you said. Do you not have any fucking shame or compassion for what the guy's going through? Maybe you can learn a fucking thing or two from him, because you ain't as good at your job as you think you are. And your podcast sucks. Moving on. Shame on you, man. I couldn't even fucking listen to him anymore after I read that report. Couldn't even listen to him on commentary anymore. How he didn't feel bad all night after saying what he said. Mauro makes the shows better in every sense of the word. You put anyone else, you put Michael Cole on TakeOver or an NXT show, and those shows dip in quality severely. With Mauro there, those shows are fucking unbelievable every single week. And he is absolutely one of the main reasons why. I have nothing more to say. Adam Cole and Pete Dunne, NXT Championship. Adam Cole, over as usual, in Chicago after WarGames. Why the hell not? You know, everybody respects what Adam Cole's done at WarGames, and especially this month. WWE, they decided to show highlights of the WarGames spot with Ciampa and Adam Cole jumping off the WarGames cage through the two tables down below. They decided to show highlights of the WarGames spot during his ring entrance, during his Adam Cole Bay ring entrance. I mean, what the fuck? Jesus Christ, WWE, get your shit together, bro. I don't believe it. I don't believe what I was watching. I'm like, what am I watching here? You're missing out on Adam Cole's ring entrance to show me highlights? Then? You could show me highlights after Pete Dunne came out. Then you want to zoom out. The camera zoomed out when he did his boom. I don't think they knew when to zoom out. They zoomed the camera out during his boom, and they should have not showed the highlights and then zoomed out during Adam Cole, baby, to show the whole fucking crowd doing it with him. Just an awful, awful, awful segment on TV watching at home. Unbelievable. Adam Cole is wearing tape on his ribs, selling the effects of last night. Pete Dunne had tape on his knee. After last night's triple threat match, Pete Dunne's joint manipulation begins early, stomped on Cole's elbow, right across the steel steps. It looks brutal, but it looks silly at the same time. Like, there's obvious time in between where his elbow is and when Dunne lifts his fucking boot to stomp on his elbow, to move the elbow out of the way. You know? It makes the guy taking the move look like an idiot, because he has all the time in the world to easily move his arm out of the way. Same thing with Shayna Baszler. Same thing with Shayna Baszler in the main event of this show tonight. She did the same thing to Bayley. Nothing. Nobody moves. Cole mounted a comeback and started targeting Dunne's taped knee. Dunne created some separation with an X-Plex. Step up enziguri by Dunne. Stomped on Cole's hands, followed by a sit-out powerbomb for a cover and a 2 count by Pete Dunne. Adam Cole rolled to the outside. Dunne with his signature moonsault on Cole to the outside from the second turnbuckle. Back in the ring, Dunne has Cole down. Up top now, moonsault by Cole. Got the knee, or moonsault by Dunne. Cole got the knees up. Cole quickly delivered the last shot, and Pete Dunne kicked out. Cole, second rope now. Went for Panama Sunrise. Dunne with a forearm and a clothesline. Cole back up. Suplex neckbreaker for a cover and a 2 count. Cole up again. Went for the last shot again. Dunne ducks. Tried for a submission. Cole escapes. Dunne went right after for the bitter end. He hits it, and Cole kicks out of Pete Dunne's finishing move, the bitter end. Both men up, trading shots. Dunne grabs Cole's hair and chops the shit out of Cole's chest over and over and over again. Cole with a step-up enziguri. Dunne off of an Irish whip. Step up on the turnbuckle, flips over like Daniel Bryan does. Cole was right there, and he delivered a kick right to the face in midair on Pete Dunne. Went for a 2 count. Cole up for the Panama Sunrise again. Dunne with a forearm again. Went for the X-Plex, but this time he went for the X-Plex and turned it into a fluid pinning combination, only a 2 count. Cole rolls to the outside. Dunne follows. Cole kicks his taped knee again while Dunne is in the ropes. On the apron now, Cole's back gave out. Dunne's leg gives out, so we're at a stalemate here on the apron. Cole climbs the second rope, goes for a risky move, but hits a Panama Sunrise on the ring apron. Chance of holy shit. Both men on the outside. Cole is in the ring. Dunne makes it back in the ring by a 9. Immediately, Cole with a kick to the face. Cover. Dunne kicks out again. Crowd is fucking going crazy. His mouth guard flew out after the kick by Cole. Dunne grabbed his mouth guard, and Adam Cole was right there. He then grabbed Adam Cole's fingers, snapped them. Dunne went for the bitter end again. Cole reversed it into a Panama Sunrise, which looked fucking crazy. Ran the ropes. Last shot. Adam Cole retains the NXT title in an excellent NXT Championship match. Look at that. NXT giving you a World Championship match that the main roster wishes they could give you on their own pay-per-views. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised that Adam Cole won this match. Adam Cole is the MVP of WWE in 2019, and there's no reason to take the NXT Championship off of Adam Cole when the major money match is Adam Cole versus Tommaso Ciampa with the ongoing storyline on NXT. This was awesome, and like I said, the right man won that triple threat match last night. There was no way the other two guys, Damian Priest or Killian Dane, would have brought out this type of match with Adam Cole. None. Pete Dunne was the right choice, and it got both guys over on the main roster. Everybody looked at their body of work tonight. Everybody was impressed, no doubt, and the right man won. Adam Cole and Pete Dunne both looked like beasts at Survivor Series. Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Corey Graves, the asshole, on commentary with Michael Cole. You know, the guy who's better than Mauro Ranallo, right? Yeah. We got the red lighting. The red lighting is back. The fucking red lighting. I'm blind. My eyes hurt after watching this match. Do you guys feel the same way? So a Daniel Bryan match in red lighting. I can't wait. Bryan immediately with a big knee. By the way, before we even get into what the match consisted of, Bray Wyatt came out wearing the blue fucking Smurf Universal Championship around his neck. I mentioned this on Off The Script when I talked about Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan and the feud, or I mentioned something on Friday when I did the SmackDown review. Somewhere. It was either between Friday and Saturday I mentioned it. Somewhere in there. Bray Wyatt wore the title around his neck. Everybody wears the title around their neck. Fucking Kairi Sane and Asuka wear the titles around their necks. Right, their tag team titles. Roman Reigns wore the title backwards or around his neck. Now, I don't understand why Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, needs to copy all these plebeians on the main roster. The Fiend is satanic. The Fiend is evil. The Fiend is unnatural, right? Why isn't the Fiend dragging the fucking title like The Undertaker used to drag the title back in the old WWF days? Remember when Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker had their match, the Gravest Challenge, at the Survivor Series, and The Undertaker beat Hulk Hogan with the help of Paul Bearer and Ric Flair? He won the title, and Bobby the Brain Heenan was screaming Hulkamania is dead. And then The Undertaker was dragging the fucking title out of the arena like a fucking corpse, like a dead body. Why isn't the Fiend doing that? Why do we have to see the Fiend wear the fucking title around his neck? I couldn't see the mask. He looked utterly ridiculous. And it doesn't really fit his character. Doesn't fit his character. Anyway, just wanted to mention that. So the match starts. Bryan immediately with a big knee. Running kicks. Big kicks. Running kicks. Bray Wyatt close-lined him out of the corner. Turned him inside out. Wyatt in control after a senton on Bryan on the outside. Bryan tried to fight back, but Wyatt with a Uranagi on Daniel Bryan. Wyatt suplexed Bryan, tossing Bryan halfway across the ring. Now, he got the neck vice on and did the neck snap, which looks utterly ridiculous. Now, on the outside, Bryan sidestepped Wyatt, He ran right into the steel steps, Mick Foley style, did Wyatt. He hit his knees first, over the top of the steel steps. Very Mick Foley-esque. Bryan went for a suicide dive. He got caught in Sister Abigail on the outside. He caught him in a suicide dive. Bryan escaped, shoved Wyatt into the ring post, face first, jumped off the apron with a flying knee, went back to the ring, climbed the top rope, went to the third rope, flying knee off the top, on top of Wyatt. Back in the ring, missile dropkick, missile dropkick, missile dropkick. He continued to get up every single time. After every single missile dropkick, the Fiend was up. The Fiend was up. Crowd was chanting loud yes chants, yes kicks to Wyatt now. Wyatt back up again, more yes kicks. Wyatt down, back up again. He started laughing after every yes kick, and him getting up, he started laughing. A third set of yes kicks. Fiend is on his back now. Bryan stomps on Wyatt's face. In the corner, yes chants. He was in the corner doing slow yes chants. It reminded me of that steel cage match in Rhode Island with Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan when Bryan broke free and took off the fucking jumpsuit and fled the Wyatt family. It reminded me of that Rhode Island Monday Night Raw loud yes chants, and Chicago was fucking every step of the way with Daniel Bryan. Reminded me of that. Big knee, cover, 2 count. Chicago, crazy for Daniel Bryan. Wyatt up again. Bryan up top. Wyatt with the mandible claw. Bryan reverses it into an armbar. Bryan back up top again. He got caught with a punch to the face. Sister Abigail. Bryan with a roll-up out of Sister Abigail, 2 count. Then, right out of the pinning combination, Wyatt went for the mandible claw immediately, and Bryan was out. Instead of tapping, Bryan was counted out 1, 2, 3. Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, retains the title in what I thought was a perfect match for what these two guys did. A perfect match for the little story that they've told so far. Now, I could do without the red lighting. I don't think we're going to get a Bray Wyatt match without the red lighting. I guess I'm going to have to get used to it because one time a month we see the red lighting. It does keep him unique. It's different. Nobody else has it. It keeps the Fiend's match special. I get it. I just don't like it. I don't want to see someone like Daniel Bryan, who brought Bray Wyatt to the best match of his fucking life in 2014 at the Royal Rumble. Don't really want to see these two guys who could give us a classic wrestling match in red lighting. I don't want to see it. But I guess I'm going to have to get used to it. This was a perfect match for what it was. Didn't go too long. Wasn't too short. Right in the middle. Perfect sweet spot. The only thing is, and I mentioned this on Off the Script, and I mentioned this on Friday Night SmackDown when I did the review and I covered the show. I don't mind a Bray Wyatt, Daniel Bryan feud, but I don't really like the way WWE approaches these world title feuds. I don't. They book the match, then they tell the story, and then we get 4 other matches on top of that to conclude the story. Instead of building the fucking story, which leads to the first title match, and then we get more layers to the story, which leads to an eventual rematch, WWE does things ass backwards with their world title feuds. I don't appreciate that. I don't like that. But at the end of this is what happens when you put someone who is over as a babyface, who's beloved by the fans, in this type of environment with the Fiend. Everybody was pro Daniel Bryan, even though they knew Daniel Bryan wasn't going to win. They possibly didn't even want Daniel Bryan to win. But they believed in Daniel Bryan, so much so that they got behind him in a match against the Fiend. Look at how different this match ended up compared to what Seth Rollins did. It's much different than what happened. Here you had someone that everybody loves. In that match, you had somebody that everybody hates in Seth Rollins. He's not over. And that actually took away from Bray Wyatt. This match made Bray Wyatt look good. Big difference. Very, very different scenario here with Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins. So this match ended up being better than everything that they did with Rollins and Bray Wyatt, and we're only in phase 1 here. I'm sure we're going to get this again at TLC. I don't think this is going to be over. Who else is there for Bray Wyatt to feud with as a babyface on SmackDown? Nobody. It's going to be Bray Wyatt. So there you go. This was awesome. I loved it, and it ended up being better than I expected it to be. Men's Survivor Series match. 5-on-5-on-5. Raw came out first. You had the Clown, Seth Clownlands, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Ricochet, and Drew McIntyre. SmackDown came out next. Roman Reigns, Mustafa Ali, Chad Gable, Baron Corbin, and Braun Strowman. NXT is Tommaso Ciampa, Damian Priest, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, and Walter. the undefeated beast of NXT UK, who is also the NXT UK champion. Walter was announced by Shawn Michaels on the Survivor Series pre-show. Strowman, Rollins, and Ciampa started. Strowman with a dropkick taking out both Rollins and Ciampa. Walter tags in. We have Walter and McIntyre and Strowman in the ring. So we had McIntyre and Strowman. They were in the ring with Walter, and both Walter and McIntyre were double-teaming Strowman because they're two, UK guys, so why not? Chop battle ended up with McIntyre and Walter, with both men's chest absolutely beat red. Walter looked like he got actually lacerated by the chops Drew McIntyre was delivering. In fact, Drew McIntyre delivered some chops that look better and louder than Walter does, and I don't want to be on the receiving end of a Walter knife-edge chop. So both men's chests were absolutely beat red. Walter was then eliminated. Let me repeat that again if you guys are a little shocked. Walter was eliminated by a Claymore kick to the chance of bullshit in the AllState Arena. I don't understand the logic behind this booking decision. If Walter was in this match and he was going to take a pinfall, how does anybody in WWE look at that as being a right decision? Now, if that was the case, I would have never even put him in the match to begin with. I would have put Finn Balor in there. I would have put fucking Dominik Dijakovic in there, right? What difference did it make? Why did you have to put Walter in this thing when you could easily have put in Dominik Dijakovic? I don't think I would have been complaining if Dijakovic took the fucking pinfall. Walter was eliminated in how long? 2 minutes? By a Claymore kick? Oh, but JD, was a Claymore kick. Walter has been the best booked talent in all of WWE. Undefeated. And he's the United Kingdom champion. On what fucking planet do you think that beating Walter clean in this fucking match at Survivor Series is a good booking decision? I don't get it. I don't know how anyone watching me could sit there and not agree with my anger towards this booking decision. Why even put him in the fucking match if that's the case? You talk about a fuck up. You talk about not looking at the situation and thinking, well, I don't think we should do this. You fucked up. You fucked up. That was absolutely fucking ridiculous. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Chance of bullshit. You deserve more of it. More bullshit chance. Gable and Ricochet had a brief interaction. Riddle tagged in. Both men traded ankle locks. Riddle tagged out to Ciampa. Ricochet tagged in Owens. He went up top, and he was looking down at Gable and Ciampa. He wanted to deliver a frog splash. He contemplated which one to frog splash. He ended up choosing Gable, and Gable is eliminated. There you go. Go back to the court. Go back to the bench. Chad Gable. Reigns is in now. Him and Owens have a stare down. Owens cannonballs Reigns into the barricade on the outside. He stuns Corbin on the outside, back in the ring. He's caught with the Widow's Bell, a draping DDT. So there you go. Ciampa didn't need you anymore after WarGames. Draping DDT, Kevin Owens is eliminated. All that tease over which brand he's going to be associated with for nothing. He gets eliminated. Ciampa and Orton have a stare down now. Orton on the outside. And Ciampa tried Widow's Bell on Orton, which Orton, is his move. The draping DDT is his move, so he blocked it. Probably thought, this looks familiar. I know my way out of this one. Orton back in the ring with Ciampa dissecting him in those calculated joint shots that Orton is very well known for. Ciampa makes a quick tag to Priest, but Orton got the RKO on Ciampa. Priest then eats a quick RKO, and he is eliminated without even throwing a punch in this match. Damian Priest was just used as a warm body on the Survivor Series NXT team. So Matt Riddle is in. He gets a quick roll-up on Randy Orton. Randy Orton is eliminated. Yes, Randy Orton was eliminated by the bro. And Orton couldn't believe it. Riddle celebrating, getting the crowd to do bro chants. Orton, stunned by this elimination, decided, you know what? I'm taking you with me. RKO from behind to Matt Riddle. Corbin comes in and pins Matt Riddle, and Riddle is eliminated. Of course it had to be Baron Corbin, right? We didn't see no Broton. We didn't see none of that fucking great Matt Riddle offense. We didn't see the bro to sleep. We didn't see the bro Derek. We didn't see the final flash knee. We didn't see the bro mission. We didn't see none of it. We didn't see none of it. Another warm body on this fucking team that was used as an elimination. Why all the rapid fire eliminations when this match should be used to fucking showcase your talent on NXT? Like I said in the beginning, WWE picked and chose who they wanted in these prime spots. Everybody else was a rapid fire elimination. I hated it. Corbin pins Riddle. Riddle's eliminated. And all that's left at this point for NXT is Keith Lee. In comes Braun Strowman against Keith Lee. McIntyre jumped off the rope to take out Lee with a double axe handle. Lee is down. Strowman is running the train on the outside on everybody. Braun can run fast, guys. Braun can run fast. That's the extent of his in-ring ability. That's all Braun Strowman does. He ran around again, and Keith Lee, the second time around, he threw himself at Strowman to put a stop to him. McIntyre delivered a Claymore kick to Braun Strowman on the outside, and Strowman was counted out. So Strowman was eliminated. Keith Lee made it back inside. Ricochet, Corbin, and Lee are now in the ring. Ricochet flying all over the place. Up top, 450 to Lee. Lee rolls away. Corbin catches Ricochet in the end of days. Goodbye, Ricochet. Back to catering you go. Rollins in with Ali and Ciampa. Ali with a tornado DDT on Rollins. Rollins to the outside. Ali with a dive to take out Rollins, Ciampa, and Corbin. Corbin and Ali start arguing on the outside because Ali dove on top of Corbin, and they are teammates. So he rolls back inside, and Rollins gives him a stomp after arguing with Corbin, and Ali is eliminated. The hometown guy, go fuck yourself. You're eliminated. Reigns starts arguing with Corbin now because of what he did to Ali. Sheer chaos. Fans are chanting CM Punk at Rollins, of course. Back in the ring, McIntyre with an Alabama slam on Ciampa for a 2 count. Claymore kick to Ciampa coming up, but Reigns comes out of nowhere with a spear to McIntyre, and he is eliminated. Rollins and Reigns now in the ring. Drive-by to Rollins. Ciampa with Widow's Bell to Reigns. Reigns quickly up. Superman punch to Ciampa. Both men are down. Ciampa about to tag Lee in. Corbin stops it. He drags Reigns over to his corner, tags himself in. Crowd is chanting STD at Baron Corbin. Thank you, Rocky. Reigns is up. He spears Corbin. So why not? Corbin's a fucking pain in the ass, and Reigns said, I don't need you. Goodbye. Ciampa then takes advantage of this spear on Corbin, and he pins Corbin, and Corbin is eliminated. Go back to Burger King, you fucking cretin. Reigns is all by himself now. NXT is Ciampa and Lee. And the Clownlands is all that remains for Rollins. Ciampa, Rollins, and Reigns are going at it. Lee is in now. Everybody going at it. Rollins and Reigns now teaming up for old time's sake. Reigns and Rollins go out to tear apart the announce table. Ciampa fights as Reigns and Rollins look to double team him. Reigns and Rollins go to put Ciampa through the announce table, but Lee breaks up the powerbomb and tackles both of them out of the Shield powerbomb position. Lee looks to powerbomb Reigns into the table, but Reigns rams him into the steel steps, takes him out momentarily. Ciampa with Project Ciampa on Rollins, and Rollins kicks out. Ciampa couldn't believe it. He goes for the fairy tale ending. Rollins evades. Rollins goes for the stomp. Ciampa moves. Rollins off the top. He eats a Ciampa jumping knee right to the face. Ciampa with the fairy tale ending again. Reigns in with a Superman punch. Rollins with the stomp, and Ciampa is eliminated. There you go. Thank you for coming, Tommaso. Down to Reigns, Rollins, and Keith Lee. I figured Tommaso Ciampa or Matt Riddle would have been the last one. I figured Keith Lee would have been eliminated. I love Keith Lee. I really do. I'm so fucking happy. After a year and a half of Keith Lee just sitting on the sidelines and wondering when he's going to get his opportunity. I mention this every Wednesday on NXT when I do the review. Or every Thursday, I should say, because Thursday is my NXT review. If there's one or two guys on NXT that have benefited most from the 2-hour time slot from 8 to 10, it's Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic. Keith Lee, I am so fucking happy he's getting an opportunity. This was his moment, and he made every bit of it count. And I'm so fucking happy he did. And I'm glad that they gave him the opportunity. Lee walks back into the ring after he went into the steps by Reigns. Reigns and Rollins wait for the fight. Rollins being booed big time in Chicago. Rollins with a frog splash to Lee, but Lee kicks out at 2. Fans are chanting NXT. Everybody is pro Keith Lee. Rollins can't believe he kicked out. Fans are booing Rollins. He's talking trash, saying that he built NXT and he's the one who can burn it down. Rollins is going up for the stomp. Lee catches him, and he delivers a huge power slam jackhammer, and Seth Rollins is eliminated by Keith Lee. We are now down to Lee and Roman Reigns. Lee is standing tall. He looks over at Reigns. He's still down on the outside. Fans start to chant for Lee as Reigns gets back into the ring. Slowly, Reigns and Lee stare each other down. Big fight feel here in this match. Lee attacks, misses Reigns with a Superman punch and a second Superman punch. Reigns quickly covers, but Lee kicks out, and some think it was a 3 count. There was an actual fucking hand that hit the mat with the referee on that 3 count. It looked like a 3 count to me after that second Superman punch. Reigns couldn't believe it. Commentary team played it off as that was definitely a 3 count, and I don't know what you guys saw, but I know I seen and I heard a fucking hand hit that mat. So let me know what you guys think about that. I personally heard the referee hit the mat on that 3. I don't know what you guys heard. Let me know down in the comments. Reigns is waiting in the corner. He is getting ready for a spear. Lee gets up. Reigns goes for the spear, but Lee catches him in mid-move with a power bomb, and he delivered a fucking spirit bomb to Roman Reigns that Roman Reigns is still feeling. My God, did Roman Reigns bounce off that fucking mat. Keith Lee's got the best power bomb in the fucking business. Reigns barely kicks out of the spirit bomb, and the crowd is going fucking crazy. Lee goes for a second rope moonsault. He was so feeling it, man. They made you believe he was going to do it. He goes for a moonsault. Reigns moves. Reigns follows up with a spear. He turned Keith Lee inside out with a very good-looking spear and wins for SmackDown. Awesome fucking ending. This entire ending with Roman Reigns and Keith Lee saved this match. This match ultimately fucking sucked due to the rapid-fire eliminations. The women's match was a lot better than this. I don't get it with the rapid-fire eliminations. I don't know why. You're not going to build new stars on the main roster with rapid-fire eliminations like that. Literally, nobody got their shit in. You know how badly the crowd would have loved to see Matt Riddle and Randy Orton go at it? Or Tommaso Ciampa and Randy Orton go at it for longer than they did? Give me a break. This was fucking lame. Hopefully next year, I swear to God, I hope next year we get NXT versus Raw and SmackDown. This is ridiculous. These 5-on-5-on-5 matches, they don't do anybody good because WWE has to book these types of eliminations to maintain the fucking time constraints and get everybody featured on the show. And I don't think that's right. I'd rather have quality over quantity, but that's something that's not in WWE's language. Now, for everybody complaining, listen, I'm not a Reigns guy. I was never a Reigns guy. I started talking a little positively about Roman Reigns because he's been not in the spotlight. He's been in the mid-card. Keith Lee was put in a situation that Keith Lee, 6 months ago, we didn't think he was going to be in this type of position. You look at Keith Lee, you look at the type of guy that Vince McMahon is waiting to bury on the main roster. Keith Lee was the last man standing for his team on NXT. And that is a team that consisted of Tommaso Ciampa and Matt Riddle. And he was the last guy in there. He pinned Seth Rollins with a jackhammer. I don't know what else you want from Keith Lee tonight. That alone made his fucking night. What do you want? He pinned Seth Rollins. You think he's going to pin Roman Reigns in the same night? Come on, dude. Who's going to be one or the other? And they got one over on Seth Rollins. So what? Yeah, Roman Reigns and the Roman Reigns agenda is slowly picking up steam again. We'll worry about it when we cross that bridge. But tonight, Keith Lee was made into a fucking man. He was made into a superstar tonight. He pinned a former WWE champion. I don't know what you want. Former Universal champion. What do you want? Can't have it all. It's either one or the other. And it wasn't going to be the guy that you wanted it to be. So what happens to Rollins? Rollins got booed out of the building. How many more major cities can Seth Rollins go into and get this type of reaction? WWE, listen to me. Turn him heel. Turn him heel. I don't give a shit what you do, how you do it, where you do it. Turn him heel. The guy needs to turn heel. Kevin Owens is the face of Monday Night Raw. That's the man that needs to be the face of Monday Night Raw. I don't give a shit what you think of Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens needs to be the face of Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins needs to go back and fucking dye a streak of blonde in his fucking hair and turn heel. The guy sucks as a babyface, and nobody wants him. Nobody wants him. Turn him heel. After tonight, it is painfully obvious what they need to do. Will they do it? Of course not. It needs to be done. Keith Lee was fucking awesome. How you could fuck him up if you bring him up to the main roster, I don't know. Keith Lee is like a Brock Lesnar. He has that big fight feel. The intensity of Keith Lee is fucking natural. He's just a big fight guy. And you don't think that people want to see Keith Lee and Roman Reigns again? That was a great sequence. Right thing was done. I didn't expect him to beat Reigns, but we got him to beat Rollins. I'll take it. Moving on, guys. Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio for the WWE title. Quickly, I just want to go over my other sponsor today, which is The Ridge. Ridge.com/script. The Ridge helps you guys carry what you need every single day, from streamlining how you carry cash and cards in their flagship Ridge wallet to their portable charging commuter backpacks. They want to make the most out of what you bring with you every single day. I own the Ridge wallet. I love how it's a vast improvement over my old wallet. It doesn't bend, it doesn't fold, it looks clean, it's stylish. I know when I pull my wallet out, I got the nicest wallet anywhere I go. And I love the fact that it's got RFID blocking quality, so I know my ID and my card information is safe and secure. You guys are going to get free shipping, so you can get your items fast. Free returns in case you don't like it. If you do like it, there's a lifetime guarantee, which is always great. And there's 30,000 5-star reviews, and they got a lot to be confident about. The Ridge is super durable, made from military-grade materials like titanium and carbon fiber. My Ridge wallet is made of titanium, and I love it. It's proven to be bulletproof, waterproof, and John Moxley-proof, chainsaw-proof. Guys, go to ridge.com/script. Choose the wallet that you want, the power brick that you want, the knife that you want, the backpack that you want. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off. Listen, I'm trying to make you guys shop easy for the holiday season. There's no better way than the Ridge. Save 10% off. Get your dad something. Get yourself something. Get your grandpa something from the Ridge. Ridge.com/script. Use code SCRIPT at checkout. And I want to thank them for supporting the Survivor Series review right here on Off the Script. Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio. Now, I don't know what you guys were thinking when Rey Mysterio came out and his ring introduction was made, but all I thought of was, wow, Seth Rollins. How does Seth Rollins feel knowing that Rey Mysterio went into his gear bag? Maybe Rey Mysterio accidentally had Seth Rollins' gear bag with him. I don't know. It's amazing. Rey Mysterio paid homage to Seth Rollins tonight with his inspired ring gear. Unbelievable. Now, clearly I'm joking, but we all know that this was Rey Mysterio tonight. This could very well be the inspiration by Rey Mysterio tonight. I don't know. But a lot of people on social media were claiming that Rey Mysterio was paying homage to Doink the Clown, that he looked more like Doink the Clown than the Joker tonight. What the fuck are you people watching? Do you even remember what Doink the Clown looked like? These are probably people who just started watching WWE 4 years ago, mentioning Doink the Clown. Maybe he just watched the new Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know. Maybe that's what he did with his son in preparation on Friday night. I don't know. Who knows why Rey Mysterio does what Rey Mysterio does? He looked cool. He looked like the Joker. That's all I will say about it. But Rollins was jealous. Maybe Rollins needs to look at Rey Mysterio and get some sort of influence from Monday Night Raw. Anyway, Brock Lesnar came in, and Brock Lesnar was Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman spoke in Spanish while introducing Brock Lesnar. Of course he did. I watched a new documentary, or somewhat of a new documentary, on fucking Cain Velasquez, and I'm hearing this guy talk perfect English, and I'm asking myself, why isn't this guy speaking English on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live? Right? Why do they got this guy speaking Spanish? He speaks better English than I do. I don't know why. So stupid. And he came out. He was in the documentary wearing his mask. I said to myself again, I wish he wore the mask. He looks better with the mask on. Cain Velasquez. Bell rings. Lesnar charges. Rey exits the ring. He goes right under the ring for his steel pipe. You know, the steel pipe that is hollowed out. Yeah, that pipe. Rey returns to the ring with the pipe, but Lesnar goes to the floor and laughs Lesnar runs back in and drops Rey. Of course he does. Lesnar tries to take the pipe out of Rey's hand, and Rey won't let go. Lesnar stands on it, and the third shot to the face forces Rey to let the pipe go. Lesnar launches Rey out of the ring to the announce table. Lesnar launches Rey over the Spanish announce table to the floor on the other side. Lesnar leans over the top piece of the announce table, and he launches Rey through it with a belly-to-belly suplex. Lesnar then, with ease, like a child, lifts Rey Mysterio up and runs him spine first into the post. Lesnar scoops Rey up again, but Rey slides out and shoves Lesnar into the ring post, but Lesnar avoids it, actually. He avoids it. Rey fights and then crawls in the ring for the lead pipe. Lesnar recovers and stops it. Lesnar grabs Rey and delivers the first German suplex of the match, the first of many. Rey lands on the pipe after the German suplex. No, Rey is not a pothead, folks. It's a steel pipe, okay? He's not smoking the pipe. Give me a break. I know what you think. Get your mind out of the gutter, bro. So, Rey lands on the pipe. Lesnar delivers another big German suplex and takes his time with Rey Mysterio, really working on a methodical pace in this match. Lesnar keeps control while Rey is down. Rey's son, Dominic, runs down, and he is there with a white towel, as if he wants to throw in the white towel and say, enough is enough of my father. You did enough. You proved your point. Dominic has the white towel. Lesnar is looking at Dominic, and he's laughing. He's laughing. But Rey comes from behind while Lesnar is keeping an eye on Dominic, and Rey Mysterio with a low blow from behind to take advantage of Brock Lesnar. Lesnar goes to grab Dominic, but Dominic hits a low blow as well, and Lesnar sold Dominic's low blow really fucking good. Rey unloads on Lesnar with the pipe all over the ring. Now Rey goes and does that while Dominic gets a steel chair and steel chair shots to Lesnar, and he leveled into Brock Lesnar. Rey and Dominic hit a double 619 on Brock Lesnar at the same time for a huge pop. Heyman on the outside, shocked. Dominic off the top rope, a beautiful frog splash by Dominic on Lesnar. Rey follows up with a top rope frog splash of his own on Lesnar. They both cover Brock Lesnar at the same time, and Lesnar kicks out at 2. Lesnar comes back and ends up dropping Dominic with a huge suplex. He fucking murdered this kid. Rey comes off the top rope, but Lesnar catches him midair with an F5, and that was it. That was it. Short, sweet, beautiful. This match, whoever produced this match, I want to shake your fucking hand. This was awesome. This was awesome. There was nobody watching this show that, even with the no DQ match, expected Rey Mysterio to even fucking stand a fighting chance. There was no way anybody thought Rey Mysterio was going to give himself a chance to win this match, even with the no DQ match. And adding Dominic to this situation, having them go double team Rey and Dominic did on Brock Lesnar, it was fucking beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. It was a thing of beauty. Lesnar may go down as the best big fight man in WWE history. It is fucking amazing that this guy goes in there time and time again with talent like Rey Mysterio, you know, who are vastly undersized compared to Brock Lesnar, and it's just phenomenal. It is phenomenal. I loved everything about this match. It was short. It was sweet. Hopefully it ends this storyline. Don't know who Brock Lesnar is going to move on to next. Maybe he sits out and waits till the Royal Rumble. I don't know. This was perfect. This was perfect. And adding Dominic was a perfect ingredient to get that crowd on the edge of their seat, just to give him a little bit, tease him a little bit on a possible Mysterio title win. And then obviously Brock Lesnar overcame all that, swatted them away like 2 flies, 1 F5, and that was it. He wins. This was awesome. Main event, something that I did not think needed or deserved to be the main event here. Shayna Baszler, Becky Lynch, and Bayley. NXT champ, Raw champ, and SmackDown champ. So we got this match main eventing the show. I'd much rather have seen Rey Mysterio and Brock Lesnar main event this show. This was boring. I actually enjoyed the sit down between Becky and Shayna more than I did this entire match. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a situation of the crowd just being out of it following the Rey Mysterio Brock Lesnar match. I don't know if it was a sense of Shayna Baszler being nervous and hurt. I don't know. I don't know if the clash of styles mixed here well with Shayna Baszler or Shayna mixed well with Becky and Bayley. I don't know. I don't know what happened. This match was not good. It was not good. And it is very similar to the last triple threat match that I seen Becky Lynch in with Ronda and Charlotte at WrestleMania. That also wasn't good. I think we need to stay away from triple threat matches with Becky Lynch. I honestly think she works better in a one-on-one environment. This is not the best of Becky Lynch at all. I honestly think that we've seen the best of Shayna Baszler as well. This was not it tonight. I don't know what happened. This match did not need to be the main event. The only reason why it was the main event is because WWE doesn't know any better, and they always force an agenda down your throat. Let's put Becky Lynch in the main event of the Survivor Series. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. The only reason why this match was in the main event was because of the fucking outrage and the cancel culture that we're living in. And people would have been bickering, oh, this match is too big, it should have been in the main event. So WWE's got to appease this small minority of the audience and put this bullshit on in the main event. The Raw Women's title is not the main title on Monday Night Raw. Brock Lesnar is. Brock Lesnar is. Becky Lynch is great and all, but she's kind of died off a little bit. I don't think Becky Lynch really deserves to be in the main event of any more shows. That's an overwhelming sense of pressure you put on her, and I don't think she really lives up to that pressure. This match should have been in the middle of the card, not in the main event. Let's fast forward here because this match was utterly boring and went 22 minutes. Don't know why. Baszler turned to Becky. Midway through this match, she was going to stomp her elbow. Bayley broke that up. Becky rolled to the floor. Baszler and Bayley battled each other. I would have rather seen Baszler and Becky one-on-one, to be quite honest with you. But it is what it is. Becky re-entered the ring just a few minutes later. Bayley ran Becky's face into the mat several times, went for a 2 count. And from there, we had Baszler from ringside break up a cover when Bayley went to go make a move on Becky. Becky took both opponents down, scored a near fall on Bayley. She climbed to the top and landed a leg drop on Bayley. Baszler broke that up, only a 1 count. When Becky threw Baszler out of the ring, Bayley attacked her from behind. Becky applied the disarmor. Baszler broke it up and gave Becky a gut-wrench suplex, which is one of her signature moves. Bayley gave Baszler a running knee, scored a near fall off that. They went toe-to-toe for several more minutes, trading off who was, going back and forth. We got Becky and we got Baszler. We got Bayley in the middle of this thing. Becky eventually applied the disarmor. Bayley escaped and applied a sleeper. Bayley charged. Baszler backdropped her to the floor. Bayley yanked Baszler by her legs to the floor. Baszler got the better of Bayley and then Becky at ringside. Bayley went for a top rope elbow. A few minutes later, Baszler avoided that and applied the Kirifuda clutch for the tap-out win. Bayley tried to avoid the Kirifuda clutch. She actually turned it into a pin, and then Shayna went right back for the Kirifuda clutch, and that was it for the tap-out win. And at the end of this thing, Shayna was celebrating. Becky went over the table at one point in the match. She was laying on the floor, and then Shayna was on the commentary table, and then Becky, when the show was over, attacked Shayna and threw her from the American announce table over to the German announce table, took her women's championship, and said and uttered, and you clearly heard her because they blanked it out, this is my fucking show and my fucking title. And that's the way Survivor Series went off the air. Don't know why. Don't know why they ended this show with this lackluster match. Don't know why they took Shayna's heat away from her. I don't know why they had to show Becky standing strong after all that. Can't give the full rub to NXT. You got to show, this is still my brand. I gave them a win, but this is still my show. This is my main roster. One has to wonder why NXT even, was put into the Survivor Series, and after tonight, why they won the Survivor Series. I did not at all. I don't think anybody did. Thought that NXT was going to win the Survivor Series. They only won the Survivor Series because NXT beat AEW on Wednesday due to a Raw and SmackDown Super Show. And Vince McMahon thinks that the momentum that NXT now has, with the Survivor Series and them beating AEW, he figures, let's give NXT the win so that we can keep that momentum going on Wednesday. But what happens when AEW has a fucking pay-per-view loaded show on Wednesday from Chicago at the Sears Center right before Thanksgiving? What happens when AEW is promoting a fucking pay-per-view-esque Dynamite on Wednesday? And then they lose to AEW in the ratings on Wednesday. What is this all going to mean? What is this all going to be for? You tried desperately, you failed, and the only reason why you did what you did with NXT this year was because of the AEW effect. And if you don't understand that, if you don't agree with that, then maybe you need to go back to school and learn a thing or two about what you're watching on weekly WWE television. All in all, the Survivor Series was a good pay-per-view. I love Bryan and Wyatt. I love Lesnar and Mysterio. I love the ending with Keith Lee and Roman Reigns. I thought the women's match ending with Rhea Ripley and Sasha Banks was great. Roderick Strong, AJ Styles, and Shinsuke Nakamura was solid. Adam Cole and Pete Dunne was fantastic. But the main event was garbage. The men's match overall was garbage. The overall women's match was garbage. You know, it had its ups, it had its downs. It wasn't a great show. It was a solid show. I'll give it a thumbs up. But next year, things got to be different. Next year, things absolutely have to be different. And that's all I got for Survivor Series. Let me know what you guys think down below. You know, the Survivor Series matches were lacking personality. I don't like the fact that nobody really got their big spots in. Nobody really stood out. You know, those are things that I look for in the Survivor Series. And you did not find that on this show tonight. Overall, it was a good show. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment down below. Hit that thumbs up. I'll be back on Monday night with Raw. God help us all. I'm going to rest my voice. I'm not going to do anything wrestling related until Raw. So enjoy it. There's a ton of content for you guys on the channel. Go back and check it out. Show some support. Hit that subscribe button. Follow me on social media. Not JD from NY206. And I will see you guys right back here on Monday night for Raw. Thank you guys for a great weekend. Thank you guys for a great Survivor Series. And I'll see you right back here for Monday Night Raw. See you guys then.